What's up, good people? Stone Stanza coming at you. Nice sunny day. Chilling, relaxing, cooling. Seeing what I'm gonna get into as far as relaxing and entertaining your day and your thoughts on a high and positive level. I was sitting here thinking, OG of hip hop, Willie D, he was talking about it, I think last week, that critical thinking. And I got back on the conversation today, but the critical thinking as a structure to wipe away history, but at the same time, maintain those to be on top. And it's like psychological warfare. And basically, it is not the history, but his story to dumb down to bring supremacy. I don't call it a color supremacy. I call it the system supremacy. Although in America, you see, mostly they say white, no such thing as that. But Europeans or in another country, somebody else might be the minority, whatever. But this is a system that is worldwide. It's not even a color thing because you can go over to Palestine and Israel. They're the same color, but just different ethnics. So it's basically Caucasian. And Caucasian is white, is who is of power. And I learned that even, way before, but even when Trump was in, he went against Asia, but at the same time, when he gave his honor unto the United Nations, China was one he gave. So it's always higher authority, it's always higher. And I look at this, damn, whitewashing out, people do that in hip hop. I base everything in the words around hip hop or writing or different, conversations. But they do that to hip hop. They whitewash out things. And if you don't know the history or study of things, it's easy. And then it goes down on your children. And I was reading an article after OG Willie D of hip hop, not OG of me. He's probably like 6 years older than me, whatever. But this is hip hop. He's one of the pioneers, OG it is. And I looked up more. And this thing was started from a so-called black, which I don't know if it was African or wherever he was, because all black just weren't in African or whatever. And it was a European, vice versa, same thing. And the critical thinking, the critical studies. And basically into today's new agenda, they try to get, and not try to, like say for instance, there's a certain group right now that, and I gave that example in my last video. I asked a young guy, what would you take, a free scholarship with a master's degree or staying? He took staying. Now, staying, he chose. See, if they can, not if they, but if it can be accomplished through the system and whoever falls for it as a whole or as a self, it's going to be identified. Not the way we identify. They have another identity to identify. So then now, if, say, all Hispanics and all Negroes want to do, and they say whites too, because whites is different Europeans. But if they, these guys want to be gang members. And then they say majority of Spanish and Negroes want to be. See, it's not that they might be pushing it, but again, we're clearly showing. And I'm saying we of color, but people, because I fell under that system at one time, and you got to think. You can't get mad at the system, and this is why you got to go above the evil. But basically, the critical thinking is another race studies. This race wants to be gang members. Another race likes to go to church. These like to be on the street and do drugs and consider the devil. You see what I'm saying? On a higher level, So when it's time to go for those jobs, whoever falls into that trap as a whole, they're not going to get those jobs. They're going to get turned down. The police is going to get let loose on them. And guess what? It wasn't always with the Negro race, but it is against the Negro race. So whoever's at the bottom, everybody's going to want to keep them at the bottom until you see the characteristics of a person. Now, the higher people above, they see all this. And guess what? They're seeing who's going to fall into the system, who's not. We base it on a race, and we base it on different agendas, but there's higher people that also critical thinking on the ones that are doing the critical thinking. But basically, it's the dumb down. And we just can't say Europeans and so-called, Africans or whatever. We even Asia, look what they helping doing over there in Africa, which is good. But at the same time, you have some like the teacher that was dumbing down the kids, making them speak things in Chinese that were insulting to, and they didn't know. They were dependent on the teacher. So the critical thinking is basically, especially in nowadays, to get these young youth to want to be gang members. And if you fall for that, no matter what color, guess what? You're going to be underneath critical thinking. You're going to get picked out. You're going to get picked out and it's going to go down. Oh, and then that's when you go, oh, your mother? Oh, your mother was this? Oh, he got to be this. Oh, the kid's got to be this. And they're going to make it trickle down until you come to grips and fight for what's right. It's going on in the educational system right now. Big time. I'm going through educational system right now. My son has missed over 180 days, but I can't speak on the case more. I'm a father who wasn't informed about all this. And basically, I thought it was the color, and it could have been, but no. It's because the critical thinking is the father of these days don't do. They are nothing like the fathers. So then now a caring father has to fight harder, especially if you came underneath that system and you coming up out of that hell, that dirt. And then what makes it go further is happening in these churches. Also, the church person needs some to dumb the person down and make them feel holy. See how everything critical thinking make one. It's just not color. It's just bias. Period. You go. Not all church members are like that, but it's in every system. You have police officers that might be like that ride around all day looking, and then everybody that has a color skin they looking. Oh, because we can easily arrest one of them, but the other ones they might not be looking for. You see what I'm saying? So whoever falls as a whole underneath this critical thinking, it's to damage the generations to come. So when all these people don't want to rise above, all these people want to be grimy and think these little bit of money, or backstabbing, killing, this Instagram, or all this stuff in hip hop, or just out in the world, period, no matter what color or ethnic group, if we don't all have humbleness and show the seeds the right way, and bring them up that right way. Because you have a lot of people that came underneath, but they all strayed, which made their kids astray. You see what I'm saying? But the critical thinking, it's even happening in the homes. You have it where also the mothers, they're thinking that, and it's not their thinking, but the man and the odds is made less for some reason. And the woman is made, even through the court system and all that, they are made to be on the upper level. See, it's all underneath critical thinking. It's a system. And if you're thinking it's color, you're going to get fooled. That's a part of it, but you're going to get fooled. You got to go by character. You got to see through. But when Willie D was talking about that, I looked into it more. And then the two people that brung it up back in the 60s, they were opposite colors. So their whole point was characterism. And basically, not even dumbing nobody down, but basically, another generation should never have another generation dumb them down. So I'm hoping when the generations come, I hope and pray that the younger generations, they look back and they laugh at the other generations that accumulated all this, because they're going to look and say, wait a minute, all we had to do was get along. You know, how the kids gonna think, and we all can have ice cream, and it's think same thing when you get older. They're gonna think that, so it's not gonna be no critical thinking of who's better or who's such and such. It's gonna be character, understand character, love and encouragement. But in critical thinking, it's a cruel world. It is no love, it's no encouragement. It's out to hurt you, whoever falls underneath your system, and the children. And guess what? Nobody cares but fathers and those mothers or those grandparents that see this. You have to fight harder because it's a war, and not the war with fighting and all that. It's a different type of war. And you have to fight, and you have to fight for your children's lives. You have to fight for your lives, and you have to make the world better. Your critical thinking, don't let your thinking be critical. And although that the critical thinking is upon us, and then right now, I'm not going to lie, upon the Negroes race, Spanish race and all that's already critical thinking. And then when it comes time, nobody's going to look at history and say, well, remember the Black Wall Street, or remember that Asians were great, or remember Mexico. No, whoever is leading or whoever is trying to lead as a whole, it's you know, it's if it's as a whole and it's race against race, it's still going to be judged on character. And guess what? That critical thinking is going to be to that certain race. So every race is going to have to come up and defeat that bullshit critical thinking, because it's a system. It's a system that is created, but it's a system that we create also. You know, about being hard-headed, about doing what we want to do in life. So like I said, that critical thinking, think about that. Think about that hard, because it's happening now. And like I told you, I had to explain it to the young boy. Even when you go to jail, critical thinking. And I pray that on nobody. When you go, you might start for the public defender. Everything might be all right. You got to go up to a lawyer now. Now you got to go higher. Now you got to get a lawyer with a judge. Now you got to go higher. Why? Because it's money. It's critical thinking that these people right here are going to go here. Let's take all their money so they won't have. It's critical thinking, because why? You're keeping your own self down. Nobody can keep you down. And I realize that. I realize more and more. Don't be a victim to critical thinking. Don't let people think critical on you individually or as a whole. Show who you are. And, you know, that just made me think also. It's happening in the police departments. Critical thinking. Then what's going to happen when, you know, these people, they start telling each other, or, you know, it's not the police. Guess what? It is the police, but guess what? The police are getting those people out there on the streets. Because while you're under critical thinking, now they're going into the streets within, and they're getting critical thinkers that have no hope or can't even see the big picture. And these critical thinkers are thinking everything's funny. They sitting there telling on the next man. They don't care about nothing about themselves. Doing hits for the police, all type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Critical thinking. And this is the stuff. If it can stay in the hood, if it can stay in the places, or if it can stay wherever it needs to stay, guess what? That dwelling place is going to be so negative. And then it's a shame. So just think about the critical thinking. And young boys, look above. Look above, man. These OGs, you know, but I give props, like I said, to the ones I watch, you know, Townsend and Kevin Mack and the Postman and all of them, and different ones in Chicago, whatever, no matter what color. It's a lot of positive that see this critical thinking and need to rise above. But it's dangerous when a group of people or a system that you fell into wants to whitewash everything. And then the psychological warfare to be like, well, we're the only one doing improving. They're not. But they robbed from them to get where they was at. You see what I'm saying? So it's basically pushing another person down, up in yourself. You know? So like I said, don't let it happen. Don't be a victim. Nothing. It's a system. Be smart. Look within. Hip hop. Yeah. Stone Stanza coming at you. Critical thinking. Don't be a victim. Don't be a victim to the court system. Don't be a victim to this false ministries out here. Don't be a victim to nothing. Understand and be humble. Realize and recognize. Like Boot camp said, firm is the way of the walk. Firm is the way of the walk. Firm is, but he said something else, Stone did, but I just said firm, but Stone stands for peace out. Don't be a victim to critical thinking. Peace.